Webflow and Claude are now connected. You can manage your CMS, audit your SEO, update your design system, all from a chat window. And if you've been on LinkedIn when this launched, you've probably seen people raving about how this changes everything. It's revolutionary, game changer, the usual. But here's the thing, the developers actually using this daily, they're telling a bit of a different story. So I've been testing it myself, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what you can do, show you real examples, and give you my honest take on each one. Some of these are genuinely useful, others not so much. Let's get into it. You connect your Webflow account through Claude's connector settings. Choose the Webflow sites to authorize it on, and you're done. Claude now has access to your sites, CMS, and design systems. By the way, I'd recommend testing this on a testing site first. You'll see why in a minute. All right, let's look at the actual use cases. First up, bulk CMS updates. I asked Claude to populate a category CMS collection based on the content from 41 articles, and then set the category reference in each article. It started off very well. It understood the task and created the right categories. Halfway through, I remembered many of these articles were scheduled to be published on a specific date. So I wanted to check if Claude might ignore that and set the status to queued for publish. I was happy to see it did not make that mistake. But then the context window was reached and Claude had to compress. When it finished compressing, it reread the transcript and almost immediately it had to compress again. It did this until the limit was reached, leaving the task unfinished, with only 28 out of 41 articles with a category set. So for this one, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It did the job correctly, but burned through context far too quickly. I recommend you do smaller batches at a time. Next, I asked Claude to audit one of my sites for SEO issues. Missing out text, meta descriptions, heading structure, that kind of thing. It scanned through the entire website's page settings and code, and I was surprised how deep it looked. Most of the items it flagged aren't really going to make an impact on SEO. Stuff like adding a branded title and OG image to the privacy policy. But this is because the site is already very well optimized for SEO, so it was pulling from strands. I then asked it to update the alt text to the images on the site, as it was something it flagged, and I was genuinely impressed. After connecting to the Webflow Designer MCP app, it correctly identified the images that would need alt text, disregarding decorative elements. It reviewed the images and gave it an alt text based on the context of the site and the title. No one likes to spend hours adding alt text. Claude has generally solved this. Now, what it missed. When we're talking about SEO, it isn't just about the technical on-page stuff. It's about the information architecture, the content across your site and how it links to each other. I would have loved if it recommended building service-specific landing pages, because I know in this case, that's what the website needs to improve its SEO. But still, I'm giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. The SEO audit will be helpful for unoptimized sites, and the alt text accuracy and speed was fantastic. Now, let's see if it can actually design something. I asked Claude to design a new about page. I wanted to give it a real challenge, but this proved to be a bit too big of a feat. So I gave it a smaller task, design an about section on the homepage. This took about 20 minutes, and the outcome was, well, rather boring. It spent most of the time getting stuck, then looking for a workaround, and then getting stuck again. That said, I was impressed that it understood the website's design system well. It used components and existing classes. Most AI site builders love to create new classes and leave you with a bulky mess. At the end, it left me with a list of to-dos, like placing the section in the right place and deleting the tag component. Upon reviewing its output in Webflow, I saw it left a redundant section. I believe this was its first attempt and it failed. I was happy with the classes it chose, but I noticed a Webflow bug, where combo classes were only displaying the first class, even after refreshing. I've seen this before in Webflow, so I'm not going to blame Claude on this one. But here's the thing. Any AI that is touching the website's classes scares the hell out of me, because you can't see if it's breaking things on pages you're not even looking at. I'm giving this a 1.5 out of 10. There's no reason why I would use a connector to design new sections or pages. And even if you're not very experienced in Webflow, you'd be better off using pre-built components from Walloon. Last one, writing custom code. I asked Claude to write a script that would make confetti launch when I clicked the button I specified. It executed this fantastically. It worked on the first try, and when I asked it to add more confetti and for the addition of a sound effect, it did this without a problem. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It's perfect for small script additions and tweaks to existing code. I would have given it a 10, but it failed to publish because it hit a rate limit, and I didn't even want it to publish. I would say use it for SEO audits, especially alt text. That was genuinely impressive. Use it for small JavaScript snippets and code tweaks, and use it for quick CMS updates, but keep the batches small. Don't use it for any kind of design work. If anything, use Volume instead. Don't use it for large batch operations. The context window burns out fast. Don't use it on production sites without a backup. AI touching your classes is risky, and don't use it for anything you'd show a client without checking first. The thing is, MCP was a great idea when it came out, but it just takes too much context to get anything done efficiently, ruining the quality of the output. My opinion is that we'll go back to using APIs, but with the context of AI skill files. So that's my honest review of Webflow's Claude connector. For SEO audits and custom code, it's genuinely useful. The alt text feature alone could save you hours, but for design, don't bother. You'll spend more time fixing mistakes than you would have spent just doing it yourself. If you want to use this for the repetitive stuff, go for it. Just test it on a staging site first and verify everything before it goes live. But if you want a site that's actually built with strategy, not just assembled piece by piece, book a call below. We've helped startups like Gigable triple their conversion rate, and we'll see if we can do the same for you.